No way. No way. No way. That doesn't even make sense. Couldn't disagree anymore. And we're live. What's up, man? How's it going? How's quarantine life over in El Paso?
You know, man, it really hasn't changed for me. I've just been real busy with work, but it's been kind of lame. There's nothing to do over here, man. I've been kind of just going to the gym. The gym's nice now. I actually have to make an appointment now, so it's a lot better.
Oh, you have to make appointments over there?
But yeah, other than that.
Yeah, I go to the gym
so I go at
before
8
work.
o'clock tonight.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go to the gym before.
Yeah, see, I go to the gym
at 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I go to the gym after work.
That's cool.
Yeah, at about 8 o'clock. So I'm just
kind of convenient.
In.
So I guess let's get into it. You know, we had some fights this past week. What did you kind of think about the way Dana kind of pulled it off and the fights so far? You know, and them doing it. Were you happy about it or what's going on?
You know, I was just happy to see sports. You know, finally something to watch on the TV.
Right.
It was nice to see, especially that first fight. You know, that being such a big main card, he really went all out.
It was huge. It was a huge card.
Yeah, it was a huge card. Huge card. Yeah, and I mean, and it didn't disappoint either. I mean,
no, not at all.
The memorable fight, for me, obviously, was the Gaethje fight. Gaethje just came out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he totally convinced me because I was Tony Ferguson all the way. I thought Tony would take it.
And a lot of people were Tony Ferguson all the way.
And it's not a bad pick, you know, man, because Tony's a balanced guy. He can, you know, we knew it was going to be a stand-up fight. We knew they were going to stand up, they were going to box. Just the thing is that who was going to outstrike one another. And I mean, Justin Gaethje just put on an awesome boxing performance, bro.
I mean, that is the best Justin Gaethje we've seen ever.
Oh yeah.
You know, not sticking his chin out, being real fluid with his movements, ducking punches, got a lot of rolls after combinations, and I mean, it was just perfect. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I really do think if Justin Gaethje does that, if we see that Justin Gaethje, he can beat a Khabib.
Yeah, I do. I really do. And like I said, I was going to kind of ask you about this, kind of bring this up. So we haven't seen Justin Gaethje take anyone down.
Right, because he doesn't like to. He doesn't like to. So he grew up.
He doesn't like to. Yes,
exactly. He has a wrestling background.
Yeah, and I understand he's a gold medalist, but I mean, who? And this is going to be the test: is who is the better wrestler? Who's going to deny one
better
another?
Wrestler. Khabib, there is not a wrestler in the UFC that is a better wrestler than Khabib. When Khabib goes toe to toe with DC, you know, who's 4 or 5 weight divisions above him, and he takes him to work because they train out of the same camp. There's not a wrestler out there that is going to be better at Khabib's game, right? And Khabib is amazing at those leg locks. He gets you on the ground and he locks your legs up with his, and he just keeps you there and he holds you there and holds you up against the fence. But the thing about Justin is, for a lot of people, and I said this about Tony too, is that when you get him on the ground, you get him on his back, he's comfortable there and he can do a lot of positions because he has amazing jiu-jitsu. With Justin, he's used to being held down with his wrestling background, and his takedown defense is phenomenal. And I know we say that with every single fighter is, you know, the takedown defense, they're going to have to work on the takedown defense. But this guy has a background in wrestling. Obviously, he's not as good of a striker as Dustin Poirier, but the wrestling with the striking, I would say, is a better matchup. And that's what fighting is. Yeah. Fighting's all about matchups. 100% about matchups.
Who can outmatch their skill and
right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's why UFC is so interesting to me, man. I like watching. I like the training videos. I mean, Justin Gaethje's training video that you're posting about, man. Just, I mean, crazy, dude. It's just crazy the way these guys go through the wrestling and the boxing and the conditioning throughout those weeks. And you know, I mean, do you think it played a big part when Tony cut weight? Because I mean, he cut weight twice.
I heard that. I've heard that argument that Tony cut weight twice, and you know that had a toll on him. And I heard Eddie Bravo this weekend, his jiu-jitsu coach, say that wasn't that wasn't necessarily the case. You know, the weight cut had nothing to do with it. The thing about it was just, it was just a bad fucking matchup for Tony, you know, and he came in and he's prepared for Khabib. He has prepared 100% for Khabib, and he comes in on 2-3 weeks notice, and he's got to fight Justin Gaethje, a dangerous fight for Tony. The fact that he even accepted it, he called out Justin. A lot of people don't remember. He's the one who called out Justin, and he said, "I want this fight with Justin." Bad call out, maybe. You know, it's just a bad matchup for him stylistically.
Yeah,
but I don't think it was the weight cut though.
Yeah, and I don't think Tony's done either. I mean, Tony's gonna he wants to fight again. Apparently, from what I was
he's already training.
Was saying, yeah, he's already training. He's ridiculous. But yeah, no, that fight that night was definitely great. The Francis Ngannou fight was just a blur, bro. I was just sitting down watching it, and I just remember seeing, man, Ngannou, this guy's just gonna beat him up. First 5 seconds, man, it was crazy.
So the thing about it with Francis is he trained for about 8 to 12 weeks, and he has a beautiful game plan of how he's gonna attack this phenomenal kickboxer. And Francis says, "Nah, hold my beer. I'm gonna go in there and knock him out in under 20 seconds." You know, it's just he just bull rushed him. He straight said, "I do not respect your kickboxing. I do not respect you as a striker. I'm going balls to the wall. I'm gonna knock you out." Basically, all he said is, "I'm going straight at you. I'm gonna knock you out, and don't respect your striking abilities."
Oh yeah, it was so fun to watch him just pound on that dude, man, because. He literally, he bull rushed him. I remember that. It was crazy.
Now, I don't think he can do that to a Stipe. Stipe will outbox him. If you go back and you watch the fight, Rosenstruck, he actually is going straight back is what you can't do when the guy's bull rushing. You got to go left or right. You got to get out of the way of those hooks. You can't just go straight back because he's just going to stay on a linear path. And a guy like DC, a guy like Stipe is not going to go straight back. That's just not going to happen. I think it was just he kind of panicked, and being a high-level kickboxer like he is, he should have known to go left or right. But then again, it was almost like he was panicking, coming straight back. But he's not gonna be able to do that to the rest of the heavyweights, especially the ones above him. But we'll see.
So if you're Dana, what do you do? Do you put Ngannou, that's just coming off of a two-win streak, man? He's doing good, or do you let DC fight Stipe? I mean,
no. So DC and Stipe is definitely the fight to make. The thing is we don't know when we're gonna get it. Stipe right now is going through some stuff. He's actually a volunteer fireman, and you know he's helping out his community over in Ohio, and with everything going on with the coronavirus. And he says that he can't get access to a gym. I mean, you're Stipe Miocic, one of the baddest dudes in the world. He can't get access to a gym. I'm not really buying that. But he's saying that he can't even make a fight for August. Stipe can't even fight in August. So DC has to make a decision. Do I go fight this monster in Francis Ngannou, or do I wait it out and say I'm retired, basically? Because DC is not hurting for money. DC is the A team of A teams when it comes to commentary for the UFC. There's talks of when DC officially retires, he could one day be the president of UFC because that's just the kind of person he is, and he's gonna work for the UFC for a really long time outside of fighting. And so, I mean, and he's a great teacher too when it comes to his wrestling background, and he mentors a lot of guys. So DC is in no rush to get back in that ring. He should be in no rush to go fight Francis, but at some point you have to look Stipe in the eye and say, what are we doing here? You know? Yeah. So I don't know. I think Francis, I thought this last fight should have been an interim fight. It wasn't. Yeah. But at some point, Stipe is just going to have to give up that belt and retire. And I think both of those guys know they're going to fight the trilogy and then they're done. They're not fighting after that. So Francis is going to get that title anyways. Who he fights, I'm not sure.
Because who's coming up in the heavyweight? Is Derek Lewis still factor?
I think Derek Lewis would be the. Let me look up the UFC rankings, but I think Derek Lewis is the number 4 fighter in the heavyweight division. I know Overeem is somewhere around 7 or 8.
Yeah, Overeem finally won, dude. Well, not finally, but
yeah, but he didn't. I'm sorry. Curtis Blades is 3. Junior Dos Santos 4. Derek Lewis, or actually they're tied for 4th. Junior Dos Santos, I think, is done. So I guess you can make that Francis Curtis Blades fight again, but I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Francis already beat Curtis Blades. If I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he already beat Curtis Blades back in 2000 at the end of 2018. So you could make that rematch. You probably want to see Curtis Blades fight one more time before he gets back in there with Francis. I don't want to see another fight with Derek Lewis. We saw what happened last time. It was very boring. They're both so scared of each other. But the heavyweight division is real iffy right now. It's on hold. But really, the big money fight for Francis right now is the John Jones fight. The John Jones fight could sell. That could be the biggest main event buy ever. The John Jones fight would be absolutely phenomenal if we could get that going. Now, the problem is John Jones has to get up to a weight to where he's comfortable.
John Jones fight. I was just that.
Yeah, he would have to get somewhere around the 230 to 240 range is what he wants. But he wants to be 230, 240 almost shredded. So he's going to have to put on a lot of muscle. He's going to have to work really hard to do that. And that's probably about a year and a half out. He did say when he saw OSP fighting, OSP fought Ben Rothwell. He said he saw a little bit of himself in OSP. So I don't know. I think that's the biggest money fight. I think if Francis is really looking for money and not really chasing that title, he definitely just holds out. Yeah, he holds out for John and tells John, come make the weight, and that would be amazing for the light heavyweight division, especially if John leaves that division.
Oh, yeah.
The light heavyweight division just looks it looks weak when it's not. It's so deep. It's just that it's a list of guys that John Jones already beat. It's like LeBron in the East. Everybody said the East is weak. But
everyone's already tired of seeing John Jones win.
Right. And if you go look at the rankings, it's nothing but dudes that John's already beat. The only people that he hasn't beat on the rankings, I believe, are Jan Blachowicz and Corey Anderson. So I don't know what you do there. I have no idea what you do there.
Is it a smart move for John to move up to heavyweight, in your opinion? Because I mean, I really don't know how much weight he needs to put on. I mean,
so he walks around about 240, 250. But that's not his heaviest. That's at his absolute heaviest. He doesn't struggle to make 205 at all. He's never missed weight. The thing about John is he agreed to fight Francis, but apparently the number that he put out there to Dana and Lorenzo is it's pretty high. It's pretty high. It's pretty insane. I think it would make him he would make the most money as a fighter has ever made in the UFC if they gave him the number. It's not disclosed, but they said he'd be the highest paid fighter ever if he got what he wanted. So it's not that he doesn't want it. It's just that if I'm gonna go up and fight these monsters at heavyweight, I'm gonna need some bread. It's gonna have to be worth it. I'm gonna have to put my legacy on the line in order to do it, and you're gonna need to cough up a little bit of change in order for me to do it.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, on his part, but I mean, if you're Dana, do you let him? Do you pay him?
Not for what he asks. Apparently, it's almost unfathomable for them to even do it. It's so high. It's so high.
Jeez.
You got a better chance of starting a GoFundMe and having people try to put into it. It's so high apparently. And it's not like Dana really needs that fight. He has an amazing middleweight division right now. He has amazing lightweight division. Amazing, probably the best welterweight, lightweight, and featherweight the UFC has ever seen right now. So it's not like he's dying for fights. He's been watching these boring John fights for years, and the UFC is succeeding because they have deeper divisions. Now, you could say the 205 doesn't look as deep just because of John, but at the same time, he's not foaming at the mouth for John to fight a super fight. Yeah. And so Francis is not an old fighter. Francis is not somebody who is going to be retiring anytime soon. So we can wait that out. We can wait that fight out. That's no biggie. So I wouldn't give him the money because you don't need it. You just don't need it right now.
Yeah.
What do you think is next for Conor? That's the big question now. What's next for Conor?
So, me and my friend were talking about this, and I love Conor. I've been a Conor fan since he came into the UFC. But as of right now, I really don't see him fighting anyone. He's not going to get the Khabib fight. If anything, I see him going with Nate, possibly in a third fight with Nate. He could also do Tony Ferguson. I mean, Tony wants to fight again.
Yes, Tony definitely wants to fight again.
And it would be it's a stand-up fight again. I mean, Conor and Tony, that's a money-making fight. Tony's going to get paid if he fights Conor McGregor.
Anybody's going to get paid if they fight Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor is the biggest draw in the UFC.
Exactly. So I mean, that would be a smart fight for him, Tony.
But, so I'm hearing that the Masvidal fight is something that is definitely in the works, and they're going to fight at lightweight. They're not fighting at welterweight. They're going to fight at lightweight. It makes it a little more interesting. See, and I heard Masvidal was got a wrestling coach because I thought he wanted to train for that welterweight title against Usman. I thought that was in the works. He wants the belt more than anything. He wants
him
the
or
money
Kobe
fights,
I figured that they would.
So the thing about Masvidal is he's a journeyman. He's been there. He's done that. Would getting the belt mean a whole lot to him? Yes, but at the same time, he's been around in this game so long. He wants to fight the money fights. He wants to fight that BMF title with Nate. That was arguably the best pay-per-view of 2019 when he fought Nate. He wants those big fights. He would rather fight Ben Askren and knock him out in 5 seconds than go toe-to-toe in a well-fought fight of 5 rounds of Kamaru Usman. Now, he does not like Kamaru Usman, and they train in rival gyms. Kamaru coming up in the Black Zillions, no longer the Black Zillions, and Masvidal being in the American Top Team. They don't like each other. They've never liked each other. But at the same time, he knows it's about money. If you're going after a money fight, it's Conor. His manager has said, we want Conor. We want him at 155. Yeah. Masvidal fought at 155 for a long time. Now he's going to have to work hard to cut that weight. But he's not working that hard at welterweight right now. I don't think he walks around that heavy in order to get to the welterweight division. And he's going to have to work a little hard for that lightweight weight cut. But I think McGregor is the fight that he wants. And Dana even came out and said he's not fighting Usman. He's going to fight. He's got something bigger in the works. And the only thing bigger than the belt is Conor. Has to be Conor. Yeah. 100% Conor.
Dang.
The only other fight
that's going to be a good fight.
It's going to be a really good fight. And it's going to be two dudes that do not want to go to the ground.
Yeah.
They do not want to go to the ground. They want to stand up and bang. That's all they want to do. I heard the only other big fight for Masvidal would be Nick Diaz. Nick is very much in shape. If he can figure it out with the UFC, he has talked about wanting to come back, and you can sell that storyline of big brother avenging little brother. And it's something that it's talked about, but it's talked about the same way Khabib GSP has talked about. It's probably never going to happen.
Yeah, I heard about the GSP one. Yeah,
it's probably never going to happen, but it's there. Yeah. It's there if somebody wants it, but probably will never happen. The odd man out in this entire boat is Dustin Poirier. What the hell are we going to do with Dustin Poirier?
So I was going to ask, I really want to see a Justin Gaethje Poirier fight again.
Me too.
I want to see that because
we watched that fight twice already. It's such an amazing
it's a good fight. Yeah, it's a good fight.
Huge fight. And it'll be a 5-round brawl.
Straight
up. Neither of those dudes want to go to the ground. They're going to stand up and bang. Left, right. It's going to be an amazing fight if they get to fight again. And can you imagine Justin Gaethje dethrones Khabib, right? Dethrones him. Let's say knocks him out. Nobody's ever beat Khabib. Yeah. Let's just say for argument's sake, he knocks out Khabib. Yeah. Can you imagine Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje for the belt? Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje 2 for the belt. Oh my gosh, that would be such an amazing main event.
Yeah.
I have been screaming from the mountaintops that Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje need to fight again. I don't care if Khabib pulls out. I don't think you give Conor Justin Gaethje. I think you give Dustin Poirier Justin Gaethje. Has to be.
Oh yeah, has to be. Because I mean, who else is he gonna fight? I mean, what else?
I heard him and Dan Hooker are gonna fight. I'm like, dude, you're way too high right now to fight. Go fight Dan Hooker, dude. And that's a dangerous fight. He's so long. Yeah. I think Dustin he's just waiting. He's just waiting for that next fight for his name to be called.
The opportunity to Yeah, because he's a good fighter, man. I enjoy watching.
I like everything about Dustin Poirier.
Yeah, good work ethic and everything. You know,
the only other
even
fight
in that Conor fight.
The only other fight, he wants to avenge that Conor loss.
Yeah,
he definitely wants to avenge
so
that
that's
Conor
another
loss.
fight that wouldn't be a bad fight either.
No, it wouldn't be a bad fight.
But
it would be harder to sell. It would be harder to sell than Masvidal McGregor.
Yeah, Conor.
But who's not watching McGregor? You know what I mean? Who's gonna miss a McGregor fight? Come on now. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
He's the biggest draw in the UFC. The only other thing I see for Dustin Poirier would be, it's not really there anymore, but would be a Colby Covington. Now, they are teammates. They are teammates at American Top Team, but Colby has been pissing a lot of people off at American Top Team. He pissed off Masvidal, who he was very close with. I think Colby at one time was sleeping on Masvidal's couch, and he was helping him out. And you know, Colby's one of those guys. He sells his souls to play that heel.
For fame and
and you can hate him all you want for it, but he's got to feed his family just like everybody else, and that's what he does. That's who
he does it.
He's an actor. You know what I mean? He's the WWE guy in the UFC, and there's a lot of guys that like a Masvidal who's saying, you know, I'm a real motherfucker. You know, you don't want to talk shit to me because I'm a real motherfucker and I'll knock you out. Well, that sells because he's so real and he's so genuine. What sells for Colby is being that heel and being who he is, and
that obnoxious guy, you know.
And I know Dustin was rubbed the wrong way by Colby, and I think him and Colby actually squashed it, and then I think they squashed it, and then Colby went out and said something about him like the next day, and he was like, "Oh my bad." He apologized like a second time. He's like, "Oh my bad." But I would like to see that fight. I think those are two guys that are very interesting. I think I would probably like to see Colby come down to lightweight. I don't know. But we're gonna get the Max Holloway rematch with Volkanovski. They're gonna fight. I think it should be UFC 251, sometime into June, beginning of July, maybe July 4th weekend. I could be wrong on that. I could be wrong.
Dang.
We're gonna get.
So David's just gonna be blasting us with some fights, huh?
Yeah. So there's no fights this weekend, but there's gonna be Tyron Woodley, Gilbert Burns, May 30th. The week after that, it's gonna be Amanda Nunes, Felicia Spencer, and a lot of people. I understand Amanda Nunes is the greatest women's fighter ever, but a lot of people are gonna underestimate Felicia Spencer. I saw Felicia Spencer go 5 rounds with Chris Cyborg and was just coming forward the entire time. Felicia Spencer is no fighter to be overlooked. She does not look like a whole lot. She looks like she teaches 8th grade math, but she is not somebody you want to just overlook. I want to say
so Felicia Spencer, she can dethrone Amanda Nunes?
No, I do not think that. No, I don't want that out there. I don't think she's going to dethrone Amanda Nunes, but I think she's going to give a better fight than a lot of people think. I really do think Felicia Spencer is going to give a better fight than a lot of people think. But if you look at the rest of those cards, the fact that they're charging people for that is crazy. It's not a very good card. Sorry. It is what it is, but it's just not a very good card. I don't know who's going to be on the Woodley Burns card other than those two, and they're trying for Vegas. They want to go Vegas. If not, I think they're going to go somewhere in Arizona. But we'll see. I know when they find a location, it'll be announced. But for sure, it's the 30th. It's going to be not this weekend, but next weekend. So what did you think about? They did over 1,000 tests, and only 3 of them were positive. You know, what did you think about their testing? What did you think about, you know, kind of the optics of it?
As far as like the safety precautions that they were taking through the fights and stuff. Well, I mean, that's understandable, bro. I mean, they're gonna have to do stuff like that in order for things like this, privileges like this to be allowed.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they did a good job. I know Joe Rogan was really pissed. He couldn't.
Well, he was pissed because
everybody
there's negative
cleared. Yeah,
everybody there's negative for the virus, and yet they still weren't letting them sit together. Mm-hmm. And you know, I am so proud of Dana White. I've been super critical of Dana in the past, mm-hmm. but I've been so proud of him. He even came out and said after the Glover Teixeira Anthony Smith fight, he said, you know, more than anything, it's more optics. Mm-hmm. Could we have them sit together? I don't know, maybe. They're all negative, so I don't know. I don't see necessarily why not. It's more for optics. Yeah. And the fact that he said that, like, it's like, hell yeah, Dana. Like,
yeah, it's true. Like,
it is 100% optics. I mean, at least he's being truthful. You know what I mean? A lot of other commissioners or owners would have kind of beat around the question. Well, you know, we want to have everybody's safety. You know, no, it's straight optics.
It's just optics. Like, yeah, they're just doing it to make people happy, and that's what it is. But I mean, I think if they keep doing that, they keep following the same guidelines, dude, we're gonna have sports in no time. And I'm sure. I mean, baseball is gonna be coming back soon. I heard. Mm-hmm. I mean, they're working on that. They also football hopefully will be back.
Yeah.
So I think everything will just go back to normal as long as you just.
Well, I know he's reached out to a lot of the commissioners and kind of given them the blueprint to how they did things. But he did say that these guys know their sports more than anybody else in the world knows their sports. They know the little things that need to be taken care of and the safety precautions that need to be taken care of. And it's the little things that kind of add up. Like, I know they were sterilizing and bagging all of the headsets that the crew was using. I guess the commentary crew, all the guys around the octagon, they were bagging and sterilizing it. That's something that nobody else would have thought of except for Dana and people who run every single thing. He said it's not his first time watching fights without crowds, so it's not weird to him, but he would 100% like to have the crowd back. I'm kind of a fan.
I like it. You can hear a lot more.
It reminds me of the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah. Oh yeah, same. That's what I told.
I mean, it's just the Ultimate Fighter with commentary. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I kind of like it. Did you see when DC was talking a little loud and he was telling Greg Hardy to check the kicks, and they were saying, "Yeah, I kind of got a little."
Yeah, like kind of got carried away, and he kind of said, "Okay, yeah, I heard you."
Yeah. You can kind of hear him. He started checking the kicks. I thought that was pretty interesting. That's just another element to this weird time that we're in of the trying to get the fights going.
Yeah, fighters are just gonna have to adapt. I mean, that's an advantage. I mean, for Greg Hardy, and that was so cool to see Greg Hardy fight. Let me tell you, I didn't know he was fighting until actually the day of the fight.
Dude, he's not bad.
Yeah, he's not bad. He's
getting better.
Oh yeah, and the thing is, he always wants to fight.
He's always down for a fight. He's always down. He took the Volkov fight on short notice. Mm-hmm. He lost, I think, via decision. But I mean, he's never saying no to a fight. He's never saying no. I think he's training at an American top team out in Florida too.
Oh, really?
So Dan Lambert and the boys out there I mean, he's getting better. They're really teaching him a lot. And he looks just smoother and more calm in the ring. I mean, you're fighting the tough dogs and heavyweight. I mean, your lights can be put out like that. You know, it's not an easy weight division to fight in. He's definitely making progress as a UFC fighter.
Oh yeah. Well, I think he's 8-4 now, or 9-4.
Something like that. He doesn't have a bad record. Yeah. He's fun to watch. He's a name, you know, being in football and whether it be bad press, whether it be good or bad press, you know, you still know who he is and you still know necessarily what happened. I mean, I was very critical of him coming in when it first happened, but I'm kind of he's kind of paid his dues to me. He's done his time a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh yeah. And I'm sure we'll be seeing him pretty soon and contending. I mean, Like I said, he looks really good in there. Looked like really calm, wasn't rushing in. I felt like he sat back a lot on his punches and was just trying to strike at the right times. I don't remember if he got taken down in the fight.
No, De Castro did not take him down. So De Castro, he actually broke his foot in the second round, and then stopped throwing punches. I don't know. I don't know what happened to De Castro. I mean, I know he was saying he couldn't rotate. He couldn't rotate off of that foot. But I mean, this is probably the biggest stage he'll ever be on, with that many people watching. And, oddly enough, on that gate, they finally put out the numbers. I don't remember what it was, but it was good numbers. And they don't put out numbers very often with this new ESPN deal. And I think they put these out. And so that means they did really, really well as far as I think this was the most bet on pay-per-view ever in UFC.
Wow.
It was the most bet on. I think UFC 226 was second, but I don't think it was close to this one. This one was the most bet on. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Vegas won big. I think the house won really big because you have a lot of people that just want to bet and they know nothing about UFC. They know zero about UFC and they're just trying to bet. So I think Vegas did really well for this for these fights. Yeah. It was very well bet on, and Vegas did well with their odds there.
Dang, that's crazy, man.
Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think we see out of Usman then if he's not going to fight Masvidal? Do you think he goes back to the Colby rematch?
I mean, who else can be a contender? I mean,
Tyron Woodley. I mean, I understand Usman dominated him for 5 rounds. I get it. I mean, Woodley had a bad night, but if Woodley beats Burns and he beats him convincingly, there's no reason why Woodley can't be thrown back in there. There's no reason why he can't throw Colby back in there. I understand he knocked him out in the 5th round, but it was a good fight. It was a damn good fight.
No, yeah, Colby fought really well, bro. It was kind of funny because we were at a bar and we were watching the game or the fight, and we were cheering for Colby, and everyone in the bar was just staring at us because they don't like Colby.
Say what you will about Colby, whether you believe in his views or not. He's a damn good fighter.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He was piecing Usman up. Just the thing is, Usman has a lot more power on him on those punches and knocks.
Yeah, Colby's a lot more technical, and Colby's a lot better striker. But Usman, when he hits, he cracks. He just cracks. It is what it is. The thing about Colby is, love him or hate him, you're trying to watch him. You want to see him get knocked out, and you were very happy to see him get knocked out, or you want to see him knock somebody out. I'm just a fan of his fighting.
Exactly.
I can separate everything else that these fighters do from just being a fan of them. You know this. Everybody knows. I'm not a fan of Henry Cejudo. I can respect his game. I can respect what he's about, and I understand he's just playing that heel. I think he's annoying, but he's a damn good fighter, Henry Cejudo. He's a damn good fighter. What do you think they do with that division, the bantamweight division?
I heard there's some young bucks coming up. I heard Sean O'Malley. His name is getting thrown in there. Uriah Hill, I heard, is thinking about coming back out of retirement.
You mean Faber? Uriah Faber?
Yeah, Faber. Sorry.
Yeah, so he had that bad knockout against Peter Yan. I heard for the bantamweight, Yan. Well, TJ's got to serve. What is it, like maybe about 6 more months until his suspension's over for the EPO.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Cody Garbrandt. I think Garbrandt's probably 2 fights away from at least being in the conversation. Right now, I think bantamweight's a 4-dog kind of division with Peter Yan, Aljamain Sterling, Dominick Cruz.
Yeah, is Dominick Cruz even a factor anymore? After losing to Henry Cejudo, he's old. I mean, do you think it's time for him to just step away?
I don't, because I don't think he got knocked out. I understand the fight got stopped, right? He got stunned. That knee hurt him.
Yeah.
But these are bantamweights, and I understand that he was taking shots to the face unanswered. That's part of the fight. These guys weigh in at 135. They're not fighting at 265 like some of these heavyweights, 205 like these light heavyweights. They don't hit as hard. That's just a fact. They don't hit as hard. and it's not like his lights got put out, and then as soon as the fight gets stopped, you see him. He puts his hands up like, "What the fuck, man?" And he's there. He's conscious. Like he knows you just stopped the fight, and I'm getting up. Like that's the first thing he said is, "I'm getting up. What are we doing?"
Yeah.
And did Dominick Cruz do anything in that fight that made me think he was going to win? Absolutely not. Henry Cejudo with those leg kicks was just absolutely immobilizing him and was stopping all his weird movements that Dominick Cruz does. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I didn't see him get his lights put out. When I don't see a fighter get his lights put out, and as soon as the fight's over, he's like, "Hey, what the fuck?" Now with Tony, you saw when Tony got stopped, there was no argument. There was no Tony's like, "Hey man, I'm still going," you know. No, it's not the same. It's not the same thing. Is Dominick Cruz old? Yes, but he's still, to a lot of people, the best bantamweight ever. Mm-hmm. You could say that about Cejudo. He beat two of the best ever, in Dominick Cruz and TJ Dillashaw. But I don't think he's washed. I think he's had a draw bad luck with injuries, and it's sidelined him for a little bit. But the thing about Dominick Cruz is he doesn't need to fight. He's an amazing commentary. Or a commentator. He's an amazing commentator. Amazing. Mm-hmm. He doesn't need to fight, but he wants to fight. Mm-hmm. If he wants to fight, it is what it is.
Is there a fighter? I don't know if you remember from the Tony Ferguson fight. There's Stevens, the guy that kept putting his opponent in.
Jeremy Stevens, Calvin Kattar.
Bro, dude, that guy's wrestling was crazy, man. This man was just
Bryce. You're thinking of Bryce Mitchell. Bryce Mitchell.
Stevens.
No, Jeremy Stevens got knocked out by Calvin Kattar. You're thinking of Bryce Mitchell. Yeah, he put him in like 5 twisters.
Yeah, 5 twisters, bro. Just kept doing it, and then after the twisters, put him in an arm triangle. Mm-hmm. And that guy was just. Does he fight bantamweight?
He fights at featherweight. He fights at featherweight. Oh, okay. Yeah. He fights at the 145 division. Really interested. He. I believe he won the Ultimate Fighter. Ultimate Fighter 27.
Off of
was on team. He was on team DC.
Really?
Yeah, he's the one who every time he wins, he's asking for some camo. He's super.
country. Camo shorts. So he wants the camo shorts.
Right. Super. I think he's from like Arkansas. Super country. It was an amazing performance on the ground. Amazing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, it was. I really enjoyed watching it. The guy didn't even have a chance. Didn't even get up.
Yeah, for sure.
And this guy's tiny too. I mean, he wasn't very built.
No, yeah, he was just technically sound. Yeah, and he's getting better. He didn't always have that jiu-jitsu. He's gotten so much better on the ground. He's a guy that likes to stand up and bang, but as soon as they went onto the ground, man, he was getting after it. I know you got to go. Last question for you. Who would you put on your Mount Rushmore of the UFC? Top 4 fighters, your Mount Rushmore, your opinion, not necessarily the correct opinion, your opinion.
Okay.
Mount Rushmore.
Well, GSP for sure.
GSP, okay.
Has to be GSP. I would have to say Chuck Liddell is another big one for me. Anderson Silva.
Okay.
Anderson Silva, and this is gonna be tough. I want heavy, Man, the fourth one, I would say John Jones because he's the most dominant light heavyweight, of the time right now. Mm-hmm. Can't think of. Yeah, I think John Jones.
Yeah, that's pretty much mine. Mine. Chuck Liddell, GSP, John Jones, Anderson Silva. Some honorable mentions in there.
Yeah.
Connor, just because he's so
popular.
So popular, he took the sport to a different level. Demetrius Johnson, because of his level of his level of greatness for such a long time. He was an Anderson Silva just at a smaller weight class. Khabib, definitely. Khabib could be in that conversation. I mean, he's never been beat. I think he totally lost like one round. But yeah, I think that would probably be my Rushmore: GSP, Anderson Silva, Chuck, and John. I think the only one I would even consider moving out of there would be Chuck. But I think Chuck was probably the first huge superstar for the UFC.
Would you trade him for Tito? Would you make an argument for Tito?
No,
not Tito.
I wouldn't trade for Tito. Chuck's put him out twice. I think Tito was great he was kind of the first villain for the UFC, but I wouldn't put him on my Mount Rushmore. The only other person I would even consider actually putting, I mean, I know I named a lot of honorable mentions, would be Royce Gracie. That's the only other person, Royce, because of what he's done and the Gracie family has done for the sport, and nobody could figure him out. Nobody could figure him out for a long time.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, man. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Yeah, thanks for having me on, bro. Appreciate it.
Talk to you later, man.
Yes, talk to you later.